This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television.
This is certainly one of my favorite of the rattlesnakes here at the Reptile Zoo. And of course, this is the Mojave rattlesnake. Just that incredibly beautiful green hue to this animal makes them really amazing. But these guys are nothing to be mucked with whatsoever. Believe it or not, these not only have a hemotoxin, which most rattlesnakes have, but these also have a neurotoxin. Basically what that means is the hemotoxin is going to cause you a lot of pain, a lot of swelling, and a lot of necrosis, whereas the neurotoxin is going to shut your respiratory system down, potentially even heart failure. These guys are nothing to be messed with whatsoever. But that being said, they're a beautiful rattlesnake that is endemic to the southwestern part of the United States.
My name is Brian Bartrek. I'm no zoologist, just a guy with a passion for animals. And that passion often takes me on animal adventures around the world. This week, I head to Southern California to meet up with Jay Brewer from Reptile Zoo and Prehistoric Pets. You're watching Snake Bites.
So Jay, here we are, man. I mean, this is, we've known each other for 2.5 decades or whatever. And this is, this is like, this was your dream, right? And I mean, it's kind of coming together.
The funny part, there used to be a place called the Alligator Farm around here, and it went out of business when I was a kid, and I didn't really get to experience it. And I don't have giant crocodiles and stuff, but I still liked all the reptiles. And I always thought, man, it would be cool if somewhere in Orange County there was a place that they can see a lot of reptiles.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I've been coming here for several years every time I'm in California, and it keeps getting more impressive and more diversity. And I'll be completely honest with you, dude. This place is kept really well. I mean, it really
I'll tell you,
is,
it's not to my standard, but
Really?
I got to work with what I got to work with.
I think you do a great job, though, because, I mean, you come here and you've got a lot of animals and a lot of diversity, a lot of animals that need very specific care compared. It's not like you have all ball pythons or all retics. I mean, you have all, tortoises and
One
lizards.
good part is when, like you've been in this your whole life, and we get a lot of experience. And because I've sold animals most of my life, I've had to keep them alive for all the customers and teach them all how, and so this is right up my line because it's like, this is what I love to do. So it's just my passion. Nothing gets me more excited than a little kid telling me that I'm going to grow up, I'm going to be a zookeeper.
With a place like this, you're hands-on showing people the love of animals.
Well, every kid gets to hold a reptile here.
Right.
So it's not like you go to a normal zoo and you look through glass. We cut eggs, right, with little kids. You were here.
Yeah, we've done it before, yeah.
Little kids get to touch the eggs.
Yeah.
I like the interaction because, I didn't learn in school. I had to learn with my hands and my eyes and my, and listening. I just couldn't do the book and all that. So this to me is the way I learned. And so to me, it's really fun to watch little kids that have maybe the same things that they aren't interested in, find the focus to interest in something that makes them want to learn, and all of a sudden you learn that and then you want to learn everything.
So guys, check this out. I mean, these guys are absolutely one of my favorite reptiles by far here. Now, I tell you, they certainly aren't pets. And as you can see, they're a handful in this size. So Jay, tell me, you've got 3 animals in here, and if I'm right, that was Gomer, this is Pile over here, and then Darth is over in the back.
You got it down pat.
So we got 3 alligators. Tell me a little bit about these guys real quick.
Well, basically, we got Darth first. He was actually voted. His name was Darth Vader.
Right.
We did an internet, vote, and we got that. And he was our first gator. He came in at about 4 feet long, and he was basically a rescue. Somebody didn't want to go to jail because they're illegal in California for good reason.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and tell the viewers, what is that reason?
Well, the reason is real simple. In California, alligators can live. They would devastate the wild game around here. They would be a problem.
Right.
This isn't Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida has its big, huge Everglades, places for them to live correctly. And these are just not a good species to be around here.
Right.
So therefore, they're totally against the law. You have to have a permit to have them. And
again,
besides, 500 pounds is 500 pounds would be an average gator.
Right.
And they've gotten up to 1,500 pounds.
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, these would be a horrible invasive species of California.
Oh, absolutely.
And
apex predator into our system is not an ideal situation. And they do live here.
Sure.
We had one live here for almost 4 years. They
Wow.
had a hard time getting it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's the perfect environment. So again, that's something that I don't think about a lot being in a cold climate. I don't worry so much about escapes, let's say. I mean, we don't want that to happen, but we certainly don't think about them living out there. But in warm climates like this, you certainly have to, and here's Dark, look at him. He's coming over for a little munchie.
He wants a handout.
Come on.
No pun intended.
Come on. Oh, hey, not that. I don't want to give you that. Give me 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 that. I don't want you to bite on that. It'll hurt your teeth.
He's good with it.
All right, there you go. Okay, that's
That wouldn't feel very good,
that shows
guys.
you how I'm not very good with the tongs at all. I can tell you that much. But so they're awesome. So what's the plan with these guys? I mean, obviously, you know, they're great display animals. It's just a zoo animal, right?
Basically a zoo animal. I'm hoping that Darth gets a little bit better socially so I can take him out a little bit more often for educational programs. We do already take him out at times. And we sometimes do a little movie shoots and different things. It just, he's part of he helps support us.
I tell you what, he's an amazing animal. Well, all three are absolutely stunning animals. And of course, we've got the little alligator snapping turtle. Not so little down there.
Hunter, he's about, I bet I needs to pull him out. Lou, I think, is about 200 pounds.
Oh my
gosh. He was
gosh,
170 at one point.
Oh my gosh.
So, but he's been doing well here.
Yeah, and again, you know, that's kind of a neat little animal at the bottom of this little reservoir. If something hits the bottom, the alligator snapper is going to go for it for sure, and I'm sure he loves the chicken drumstick
I think he's
as well.
one of my favorites because I just feel like he's so prehistoric.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking prehistoric anyway, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I started out with Prehistoric Pets.
Yeah.
So I don't think I need to go much further. That if this isn't prehistoric, I don't know what is.
Exactly.
1,500-pound creatures that swim and walk on the earth.
And guys, you know what's really interesting is, again, this kind of shows you kind of the intelligence of these guys. You know, they're just kind of sitting there waiting for the next bite. And they're not vicious creatures. I mean, they're just sitting here kind of checking out like, hey, you going to give us something else or not? And that's one of the things that's neat about alligators and all crocodilians is that you can really teach them to trigger on certain sounds or red tongs. You know, as soon as they see something, they know it's food time, and that's how they trigger it. So if they're used to seeing red tongs when they're food, if you come in here without red tongs, typically they don't think they're going to get fed. These are cool animals.
Over the last several years, I've really just gotten an affinity towards venomous reptiles. Not that it's some macho trip by any means, but they're just such amazing animals. And here at the Reptile Zoo, it's just a beautiful way to get up and close with these animals. Now, certainly, no one's taking them out and playing with them because let's face it, venomous reptiles aren't something that you ever want to play with. And this Western Diamondback here can pack a pretty big punch, that's for sure. Now, these are a type of pit viper, so they have really great heat sensors up front, and that tongue is amazing at sensing as well. And right now, I'm kind of controlling its back right here, but I tell you, I don't want to get anywhere near this animal because they just spring like you cannot believe. And again, getting bit by something like this, there's no badge of honor for that. So when you're handling a venomous reptile, you always want to give it the utmost attention and respect. These guys are hemotoxic, and a bite from one of these guys will do such nasty necrosis. And of course, the Eastern Diamondback is the larger cousin of the Western Diamondback. But as you can see, these guys get pretty darn large in themselves. That is one heavy snake. It's just amazing. And these guys have live young as well. The biggest issue here, whenever you're handling a venomous snake, is to typically, if you can control that tail, you've got a little bit of control of that animal. And if that hook is always at least a third of the way towards its head, the animal can't get back at me right now. Even if it struck at me, it's going to be stopped by that snake hook. But again, handling any venomous snake is all about a lot of experience. You don't want to just jump in and think that you're a snake handler, because I tell you what, it's just a bad idea if you get bit. I mean, it's not going to be good for you, it's not going to be good for anyone, and it's going to make our community look horrible. So please, whenever you're handling a venomous reptile, be extremely careful and definitely put a lot of time in before you ever mess with an animal like this. Whew. Look at that little guy. That thing is gorgeous. And look at this button, how these buttons here. Hear that? Of course, the thing that's amazing about rattlesnakes is just that. They basically want you to stay away from them. Why do you think they have these rattles? These rattles aren't here to get you to come close. They're here to say, I'm here, guys, leave me alone. Whew. Rattlesnakes, now that's beautiful. And you know what else? Here at the Reptile Zoo, they have albino Western Diamondbacks. Let's go take a look at one of those. And of course, we just saw the Western Diamondback. Well, this would be the albino Western Diamondback. Of course, just a recessive mutation. The thing that's just amazing about this animal right here is look at the length of that. I mean, that thing has got to be 6 foot long. That is one impressive snake. And look at the girth as well. Man, that is just crazy cool. And this one's got a lot of cool buttons as well. Now, a lot of people thought for a long time that you could tell the age of a rattlesnake by the amount of buttons it has, because every time it sheds, it's going to gain a button. But the truth is they lose buttons all the time. So old animals sometimes don't have a lot of buttons on their rattle. Sometimes they have a ton of them. This has got a pretty good rattle right here. And one of the things that you always want to do when you're messing with venomous snakes is always be really cautious and observant of what, see its tongue right there? Its tongue is coming out. It is totally keying in on my camera guy right now, Brett. I know you like to hear that, don't you? The truth is, the good news is that he's keying that way, and I don't have to worry as much on my end. But don't get me wrong, it knows I'm here. It can feel that I'm touching it right now. But fortunately, with it stretched out like this, the only thing it can really do is pop backwards. And right now, see how I've got that snake hook? If it goes backwards, it's going to hit the snake hook. It can't come. And if it goes the other way, it's going to miss me anyways. So again, reading venomous snakes is very important. Staying extremely noticing of what it's doing is going to keep you alive as well. Oh, man, albino Western Diamondback. That is one gorgeous snake.
It's great to, like you were saying, even in this concrete jungle world of LA, there's still this oasis right here, man. Right here at the Reptile Zoo and Prehistoric Pets, you know, where people can come and get their hands on animals and see them up close.
Man, I just love what I do, Brian.
Well, I tell you, dude, it shows, and the place is amazing, and it's just cool to hang out and get to know you even more, become closer friends, and I can't be more proud of you, dude. Just keep this up, man.
Hey, likewise, man. I can't believe it. I'm looking forward to seeing what ends up with your little adventure.
Yeah, well, hey, man, dude, it's been great, dude.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely. I'll be back, man. All right,
okay,
dude. Thanks, man.
Take care.
It's just amazing to be in a place like this as an animal lover, a complete reptile oasis. I tell you, days like these are what get me fired up and just completely fuels my passion for animals. And as always, I was Facebooking and tweeting my way through it. So make sure to follow me over at SnakeBytesTV or on Instagram at SnakeBytes.tv. Until next week, you've been watching Snake Bites.
Hi, I'm Peter Birch, an Aussie bloke who loves wildlife. My respect for nature started when I was a young boy in rural New South Wales. Since then, it's exploded into an obsession. New episodes every Thursday only on Animal Bites TV.